welcome to our. Oh, baby. That's okay. There we go. Our 93rd IndianaMat Guerrilla Radio. I had some technical difficulties here. I think we're still live. I have not seen the usual people are popping up yet, but
a lot of wrestling going on tonight. Maybe they're out enjoying some matches.
Yes. Let's see. Just double checking to make sure we are totally live.
Got some people watching.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah. A lot of people opening up tonight, which is exciting.
Yeah, we got a lot of matches going on. I know we were supposed to have a match, and that got canceled, and it wasn't COVID. It was, I guess, skin funks. So I guess we're going to be here talking.
Regular.
Yes, our normal stuff. So, okay, we're live now. Good. I didn't see it. Anyway, today is actually a pretty cool day because 12 years ago, on a dark and stormy night, IndianaMat was born.
Was it really dark and stormy?
No, but it sounds like a good thing to say, doesn't it? You know, add the story, but had some website issues, I know, the first night, and fixed it up, took the day off of work the next day, and ended up creating quite a monster.
Yeah. It's been, I know this is always like one of those things. Are you going to post as a trivia, like who was the first person to sign up or post, right?
Yeah. I'd have to look. Other than me, I can probably look it up. The bad thing is we did have we had a message board that did not, I tried it and I had to change like websites right off the bat. So technically that would be the second go at a message board. Let's see if I bet I could find who it is. I think I've done it before, so let's see. 3 members.
I think I always guess AJ Bradley. AJ's been on there for a while.
It was actually, these are some good ones. There's Larry March, Taylor March's dad. So he was the first non-IndianaMat person. Kevin Lovejoy. He was...
Lovejoy's a good dude, man. I like that guy.
He was basically second one. I think this person got got banned. Region Rat. That was not to be confused with Region Rat, whatever, the one that posts all the time. Wrestler 6, Keith Wilson. He was 1, 2, 3. Yeah. He was like the fifth person there. You had Bo Schindel. Let's see, the Blaine Culp was top 10. So yeah, lots of people in there. So Greco Coach is a top 10, top 20 guy. So yeah, a lot of people. It's interesting looking at these names because I don't know. Some of these guys aren't posting very much anymore.
Man, it fades through. You know, you got to have the perseverance to go.
Yeah.
I'm sure the guys that were like the heavy posters then are not as much now. I mean, even people that were with the site as more then is not even as much now, you know?
Yeah, so that's pretty interesting, yeah. I really haven't looked in there. Oh, CP did not shut out Laporte. Is that... Jeez.
Yeah.
That's...
Riley just posted 69.6. I wonder... I was watching a little bit of it live. So... Yeah. I saw ranked matchup Trey Anderson from Laporte up at 160 wrestling against Orlando Cruz, 2 ranked guys.
Yeah, that's a good. There's a few good matches last night. Franklin and Perry Meridian wrestled. That was a pretty solid match. I think Perry had a few, Franklin had a few guys out, which that's going to be the tail of the tape this year. Who has some depth, and I mean, obviously, it's always hard to replace your starters with solid guys up and down the lineup, but so.
Oh yeah, and you had a ranked matchup in there too. Harris Eason lost to Warren.
Yeah,
you know, it's a good. I mean, those are bigger guys. So some ranked matchups. We had one earlier. Ben Dalton over Connor Sala.
Yep, that was a good. That's a good win for Dalton, bumping up there and taking him out.
Supposed to be a Calumet tonight. Calumet didn't go, or I was supposed to be a Calumet tonight. I was gonna put some money on the Calumet Gavitt matchup, the showdown. I haven't seen what the Warriors are running out there though.
Yeah, no, glad I could not get the YouTube to work. Something was not working, so I have to fix that tonight or tomorrow morning. Figure out what I broke.
Watching now. Seen Lars made his debut for Rensselaer. Lars Hughes.
Yeah, big Lars. I actually have some interesting news on that up front. We're gonna probably have another weekly podcast and some articles written by his older brother, Choose Top, Drew Hughes. Just finalize some stuff today, a little bit more. He's gonna kind of internship-ish stuff on our on the website and help out. So kind of excited to have him doing some stuff, and we're gonna probably get a podcast talk, or Facebook Live with him and talk to him about wrestling and what's going on in the college scene and what's going on elsewhere. He's gonna be a little bit more interested with his brother hitting the mats now. So
yeah, it was good to see Lars out there. I mean, that's a kid that's been around. I mean, obviously with his older brothers, we've known for a long time. Not at Lowell, he's at Rensselaer. Went on and got a dub last night, so congratulations to him. A lot of guys, man. The sweet, last week, usually we do these on Sunday, but there wasn't a ton of stuff happening that week, and then, I think Joe texted me like 7, like, you ready to go? I said, man, I'm out watching this Bears game, which, if you watched the Bears game, you probably should have just went live.
Yeah, you probably drunk or just not liking life right there.
Oh, man. A Buzz show might be a little bit even more edgy than normally is.
Yes, you might get show number 2 of when you're cussing.
Yeah, I had a good run though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty proud of the run I had.
See, so what things trigger you? Wearing seatbelts and bad Bears games.
Tony La Russa getting hired by the White Sox.
Goodness.
Not my favorite.
Yes. Oh goodness. Yeah. So. So it's been starting to pick up this week, which is good. It's feeling more and more, at least semi-normal, as normal as we're going to get right now. I know we're heading to Westfield. Then they split that up. We'll talk about that in a little bit. They split that up into 2 events at Zionsville and Westfield, which was probably the smart thing to do. Let's not bring 16 teams and kids all together when they don't need to be, if they can split it up. Monday, we had a referees and coaches meeting with the local referees and coaches, and some of them people were on Zoom. The guest of honor, as you call it, Robert Falkins from the IGSA, which was good. He made it in person. He was a little tired from the football finals. It was good to see him, and talked about the season, talked about what was going on, and said everything he said, which he prefaced it with, whatever I say tonight might not be true tomorrow, might not be true next week, might not be true in a month, but a lot of things he said, everything's for semi-state and state. He said the venues are still in place. Obviously, like you said, might change, but as of right now, they're going to try to push to have those at those same venues, and then the biggest thing they're going to push for the tournament and everything to go through. And kind of like they did in football, if a school or team shuts down, they're really not going to wait for you guys. So we got to be extremely careful, especially with a 4-week season, to not get your kids quarantined and such. So
I seen Robert did an interview at the state finals for football. He's doing like send a mask and he'll wear it or something. What was it called?
Yeah,
so
if you send it. Yeah, I don't have any IndianaMat ones, or I would send him one.
Ah, man, that'd be great. I think we're missing the boat on it.
Yes, yeah. So no, he got a lot of good stuff about obviously telling coaches to make sure your weight loss plans are good and all that fun stuff. But I mean, the main thing, obviously, a lot of questions about COVID and how we're gonna do it, and there's no plans right now to pause the season or anything, and as just kind of like what they did with football. Which, in all honesty, I was pretty surprised we made it past 3 or 4 weeks without
Yeah.
it being shut down. And you just got plugged through. And if there's missed games, there's missed games. Luckily, wrestling, you can reschedule. I think we finally just filled up our schedule. We might be 1 point short, but we have a team on the hook that we're trying to finalize stuff. But we finally because we had some openings and some things got canceled, so hopefully we can keep doing that. You know, but yeah, he had a lot of good stuff, and yeah. And he did say one other good thing. Well, not good, not necessarily good, but a lot of girls wrestling talk was going on, and he said that I think this year they're planning on, probably before the pandemic hit, that we're gonna approve the girls wrestling. But he said that might be a little bit on hold, but we're not. It might get tabled again, but we're not sure yet. So we'll have to see. I mean, obviously the financials of the IGSA are not what they are usually with fans and stuff. But I think he said that. I mean, they're not going bankrupt. They're gonna have to make up the money, obviously, but they're not worried about that. They're more worried about having the seasons, because that's what's right and stuff. So good things from him. So it came out of there a little happier and a little bit more at ease. So,
Yeah, and I think he kind of catches a little bit of a hard time. I think he's a good guy. He's always been real cool to us. But like you've seen Bedich post. Michigan obviously isn't wrestling right now. Illinois postponed their season. It's good that we're going for it. And I think that's exciting. It's exciting when you can kind of log on to IndianaMat, and obviously the message board isn't as heated up as it has been, but the dual results are getting posted, and you're seeing all that, and which is good, man. You go through and you see some notable wins, and you see some guys that are wrestling some ranked matchups, and it's a little bit more of a normal season starting to happen, and in a time where it's not going to be very normal.
yeah, I just was figuring out, as going through, how many matches are we gonna have if you're able to wrestle every match, which we've already had a few kids miss their first match, and excuse me, I think we're gonna have low 20s matches. It's fine. I mean, we'll survive, and I think that's the biggest thing that we have to realize is we're not going to have that many. We're not going to go to Al Smith, which is a huge bummer. I mean, obviously as a fan and as a coach, I want my kids so they were pretty bummed when they heard that was canceled. But it is what it is. But we replace that with a pretty good little event. So, but it's going to be interesting. I know a couple other little interesting things. I know it's probably the worst kept secret. Team State 1 and 2A are going to be at the Coliseum still, and then 3A is going to be at Franklin Community, and 4A is going to be at Brownsburg. I don't know if that was. I know that's been out there, but it hasn't been officially publicized, I don't think. I'm sure you probably have heard the grumblings and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's smart, though. It's a smarter way to do it. Obviously, you don't. Why risk it, And then it's. Obviously, you don't want to have a bunch of people get, something like that with a lot of people. You can get a lot of people sick and, lose some of your season. So split it up. Those guys will do a good job. Obviously, we did the
Jaw show.
Indiana. Yeah, we did at Brownsburg. They did a great job.
Yeah.
Tante have it. Tante's all about promoting. Like that Franklin one to be great.
Yeah. So yeah, we.
I heard there's like a hotel you can stay at right there. Dane was trying to get me to stay there. I'm trying to play at Center Grove. I asked him when Belmont used to go to Team State where they would always stay. He's trying to get me to stay at some haunted building, man. he sent the name. I said that sounds haunted. I looked it up. It's like literally a ghost hotel.
Nice. Yeah. So that's going to be interesting to watch, to kind of keep track of. I mean, so it's going to be a little bit more extra work, and I hope everyone gets back together. I think it's better for everyone to be together. I know as a fan, especially in Fort Wayne, I can go walk around and watch, ranked matchups. After you're trying to get down to the 2A max. There's a big match there, and then by the time you get there, all those matches are over, and then run back down to 3 or 4A. So, so it's going to be very interesting.
I like being in there because the atmosphere is so cool. And the 1A and the 2A like really brought a lot of energy. But for rankings wise and watching matchups, it's easier for me to be at home and watch it on track, and I can say, "Oh, cool! I see this match is about to happen. I want to watch that." But I would tell you when Bam wrestled Joe Lee there, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was real cool. Yeah, they bumped. Did Bam bump up or was it Joe? But
I think Joe Lee bumped up.
Yeah,
The Willard, man. That's where, if you're going to Team State and Dan gets you staying at the Willard, look it up. There's like ghosts there.
Nice. That's near Franklin.
Yeah, no, it's in Franklin. Like I was asking him because I had to find something to stay in like Center Grove. But I had to get a hotel for our team, and he's like, "Oh, we used to stay at the Willard." Like one of the bakers. I think he said one of the bakers. It was one of these Belmont names, so that they know someone that owns this hotel. He's like, "It's the Willard, man. You'll love it. They have a great bar." I was like, I looked it up. I was like, "That place looks haunted." Put in Willard ghosts, dude. It's haunted. I've never seen a ghost personally, but I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to go get haunted before softball tournament.
Let's see. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah. So if you're staying there, be aware. Who's there? The 4A?
3A.
All right. My boy just told me the Willard's awesome though. That's my guy, man. Joe's my guy. We sat by each other to state finals.
Let's see.
But that'd be cool to have like elementary schools state there too. So
yeah.
I've seen Joe Hansen put all these guys in the comments, man. It got me off guard. You gotta focus in. We have a schedule.
Yes, we have. Yeah, I have like 3 things on my schedule. Another interesting thing with Team State that they kind of announced, and I know it's going to irk some people, so here it goes. They're going to weigh guys in the night before. They're actually going to send a ref to each school, presumably after practice, and weigh guys in. So the weigh-ins are going to be done Friday night, which is real good for the teams and for the that now you don't obviously you have 24 teams will be with the 1 and 2A. They come in at 7:30, start get dressed, start getting warmed up. They don't have to worry about standing in line and obviously exposing themselves any more than they need to. So that's kind of nice, but it's also like, man, that's going to be very interesting. Are we going to see some weight shifts of guys that can kind of go down a weight class a little bit extra because they're going to have a 12 hours to recover, a little bit more.
What's the management program on that? Wait, we're not following that or no?
It was very interesting to hear that because I never thought that we would be able to, that you could do that, but Miss Falcons did say that would not happen at the state tournament because I don't know. There's some they follow different rules. I guess they have their own. They're the same rules, but I don't know. It's all complicated, but so yeah, that's the one interesting thing there. Girls State is going to also be a full day on that Friday. So if you guys I know that's a thing that some of the coaches just learned about that there. I guess the good thing is there's not going to be, likely won't be fans, so parents will still, they can't go, so they're not going to have to worry about taking a day off of work because it's going to be that Friday.
That's cool though, man.
Yeah.
I'm happy. Like you want that to be. I think the more that you make that feel like a real big event, it's gonna just gain more traction.
Yeah,
we talked about that last week.
Yeah, having that Kokomo, they did a real good job last year from everything I saw with the promotion, and they had the spotlight and stuff. And now they're not going to be having it so get done at 10 o'clock at night, 10, 11 o'clock, and then some of those girls are going to wrestle in conference or other matches the next day. So
I think we had county the next day. I think like the Lake County tournament's the next day, and I think some of the girls were like wrestling after that.
Yeah. So
I see the new women's rankings are out. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
So the site.
Yes. Brandon Razzo's doing those again. So if you guys have information, send that to him. As I will always advertise, I do not do rankings. I got out of the rankings business a couple years ago. Mike, you have Mike, you have Dane. Mike does some East Chicago and State, and then you have Caleb in Fort Wayne. You have Howie.
I see Caleb finally got his up.
Yeah, he always has to wait till he's kind of he's a drama queen. He likes to make sure that he comes in. He doesn't want to just mix it in with when everyone else is. So he likes to get his in there and stuff. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, Howie does Newcastle. Then you have Dustin with the Evansville. So information's on the website to contact them. If you contact me, I'm just gonna forward that to them because I don't do them. I help. I mean, I look them over, like especially like the state and the Fort Wayne ones to make sure there's not a glaring, that we have at least 12 Carroll kids ranked and every
Yeah.
and
Well, I mean, I think you do a good job of like kind of giving the once over before they get posted. Sometimes but like, that's how they get right. Like, and I always say that every year. Maybe people think I'm messing around, but obviously, like the way we find out, like we can't be everywhere. Like I'm never like upset when I get those messages, like, hey, this guy's gonna wrestle this or this. That's how we get it. That's how they get correct. Like it's a lot of process because like I'm those guys even like down south, especially down south, like Dustin has probably the hardest one because it's so spread out.
Yeah.
Like you're talking about the furthest part east of the state to the furthest part west, the bottom part, and then you come up to Indianapolis. Like the Evansville semi-state's huge.
Yeah.
Like,
but Brownsburg
like he has to have help.
All those Mooresville regional teams never see anybody in the other regionals. I mean, in Brownsburg, probably doesn't see very many people even in that other sectional.
Yeah.
So,
or East Chicago, like luckily, I get to see a lot of East Chicago wrestling, but South Bend, the region, and then whatever's left over we give to Logansport.
Oh jeez.
I haven't seen my boy, man. Wrestling Scholar hasn't been on there. I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah.
I can't take these shots if he's not on there.
Yeah, we need some more taco bets.
I know, man. I need some more tacos in my life in general.
Yeah, tacos aren't a bad thing. No, so but make sure you guys send that information to the rankings people, and as always, rankings are not predictions. Don't confuse those. Those are two different entities. I mean, I know there's some people, making predictions and stuff, and they're like, the rankings are based on data, more or less. Johansson is Wrestling Scholar? No.
That'd be great. That would be the best because they were going so hard at each other. But I don't know if are they both still at the Carnahan? That was a great duel last year. I was so happy for not the Carnahan but the Tom Cameron.
Yeah.
Dude, that was awesome. That was like the showdown I wanted. Harrison and Hobart.
Yeah, Harrison's gonna be. I think they're gonna be a little bit down this year. I know they always plug in guys, but they don't have usually they have 2 or 3 guys that you're looking to make a state run, and they don't exactly have them this year.
I mean, they're minus a Kreider. They've been having some Kreiders the last couple of years. They've been making it to the state semifinals at 7'1".
Yeah, the average height has gone down dramatically after last year.
Yeah, they now they have some guys that are solid. They always do a good job. I think some of those other West Lafayette has some really good guys. So
Loser has to leave them. We don't let me do the banding on the board, please. That's my thing.
But I'm not positive. Did Harrison get him last year? It was like Harrison, Maryville, Hobart, KV. I think was in there too. I think it was like those are the top 4. They were good duels, man. I'm not gonna lie. You can go back and watch those in my expert commentary of hey, wow, whoa, whoa, whoa. On RSN. I think that's how I do all my broadcasting.
Yes. Yeah. Now Mike Morgan's mad that I told him about the night before weigh-ins. They're already cutting their kids down. You're gonna see David Pearson at 106.
That was Shammer did get the pin to win it. Good documentary by Warren Central, man. That was good.
Yeah, that was real cool. They a lot of IPO. I know Kulik asked if they could get some media people into IPO, which I was like, what? Tell me about this. He texted me, and I'm like, let's. He called me, and I was like, trying to figure out what it was. I didn't want to. I didn't want it to be mom and dad with their cell phone videotaping. So, but that's it's like a school project or something for those people, and that's real cool stuff. Obviously, I'm not going to shy away from having IPO footage in a really cool documentary, but
Yeah, I think that was good, man. And I mean, I walked away from it like, man, those guys are really good coaches too. Like, just good dudes, man. Like, I think a lot of that is, and obviously we know it. Like we're in it and we're around it a lot. I'm real lucky that I get to be like talk to a lot of different people in those situations. But like you see the impact that those coaches are making on like those kids' lives, like how they're like changing their lives for forever,
Yeah.
which is really cool.
Yeah, no.
If you haven't got a chance, is that posted on the board somewhere? I think I seen it on Twitter.
Yeah, I posted on Twitter. I'll throw it up on the board afterward. But yeah, great stuff. Krulik, great dude. I always love talking about. He likes to hunt animals of all kinds and rock climb and do all this stuff. Definitely, it's a very interesting. When you see him going to Warren Central, kind of he's a straight up country boy to put it nicely. So he's out, and then he's inner city school and making it, being able to connect with those kids and stuff. That's pretty cool. And then Morgan does a good job, even though he's short, bald, and ugly. I'm just gonna wait for my messenger to blow up now. So he's overcome a lot. Morgan's overcome a lot to be successful. So I'm proud of him. I throw my Mike Morgan jabs in. I don't have my picture of him. I didn't even change Troy here. So actually, there. So
yeah, but no, it's real cool, man. If you get some time, check that out, man. I saw that, and I mean, I kind of knew the Ross story already, which is amazing. It's an amazing thing, and just kind of like hearing it from their perspective,
Yeah, definitely. And that when Jevion Ross was shot in the head, that was crazy. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I saw it, or I saw some stuff on Twitter and stuff like prayers for Warren Central Wrestling and stuff, and I'm like, what's So I was like, text it. I go, it's one of those things you don't want to contact the coach, but that just didn't sound good, and I asked, everything okay, and he called me and told me the whole crazy story about, stray bullet hitting the kid square straight in the face.
Yeah, straight. Like, dude, that's nuts, man.
Yeah, and luckily, very minimal. Very minimal injury, and end up wrestling 2-3 weeks later at Disney Duels. So that was that's scary.
I mean, and on the lighter side of that, like obviously that's like the scary part of it. I mean, Dave Pearson's like one of my favorite guys to watch in the state. Like I want to see that guy get under the lights.
Yeah,
that's a guy that's trying to put on a show.
Oh yes, yeah, very much so. Did he put that in there? Anyway, yeah, so speaking of Warren should be good matches this weekend. They're going to be at Cathedral with Avon and Greenfield Central and Cathedral. That's going to be, I have a couple other teams there. I do not believe they're going to be there, at least according to Mr. Morgan. So that should be a good event there. Cathedral and Warren, probably not. They always get after it, so that's going to be. I think Warren has a really good dual team that they can be scary good, especially with a lot of guys that are pinners.
Yeah, we were kind of talking a little bit before we went on. The Cathedral wrestled Lawrence Central, and Lawrence Central comes in waves. And I know Mike Morgan's a Lawrence Central legend, but they shut him out, right? Like that's what we said. They shut out Lawrence Central, and they haven't even probably got their football guys back yet.
Yeah,
I mean they're out there winning state championships. I'm sure. I got Cook and Johansson in here. They're probably just getting their football guys in too.
Yeah, it's a
Center
good thing.
Grove too, man.
Yeah, Center Grove team is real good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Westfield. So a lot of I know Johansson had posted it on the board. South Adams.
South Adams had a real good. Oh man, yeah, there are two Fort Wayne teams that were in there, lost by 1 point, and that was I was watching both those games. That was a little bit heartbreaking. If you're rooting for
Yeah,
those area teams, and yeah,
and those guys did an awesome job. Like, I do like the broadcasting during the season, and I think I do a decent job. But obviously, my mom tells me I do a good job. The guys that do the IHSA, like the Champions Network, those dudes do a really good job. They had the Griffith guy. I watched the Hobart game. Turley had a really good game.
yeah. So a lot of good. It's always fun to watch those and see those familiar names. I'm sure Babcock had a pretty good game, and that whole. I mean,
Simpson was in there. Yeah, he made some good tackles. So a lot of Hobart guys that wrestle that are in the rankings are also on the football team.
yeah, it's a good mixture. What other? Oh, I know Roncalli and Brownsburg. I think they're going over to Ohio this weekend. From what I saw, they're going to be wrestling at that, but they won't wrestle each other.
Is Ohio a full go in wrestling also then?
I'm pretty positive. Yes, I think that is
Nice.
this weekend. It might not be. I think it is.
'Cause I think there's an Ohio team coming to the Carnahan also, right?
I do not know that.
Maybe not. I
Let's
thought there
see.
was.
I
I know that they had some teams that were going to come in, but I mean with the COVID, who knows, man? It's tough.
Yeah. Let's see. Where's the Harrison duels? Yeah, that
That's
is this
and
weekend.
we're
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Harrison, Brownsburg, East Central will be there. Franklin Central, and Roncalli. And I think no one's wrestling us. There's like 8 teams there, and I don't think anyone's wrestling a same state team. So they're all the Ohio teams will wrestle the Indiana teams. The Indiana teams will wrestle Ohio. So we don't get some of the matchups. I always want to see a Roncalli, Brownsburg, East Central. Definitely would love to see East Central in battle with
Legacy
those.
Christians.
Yes.
Legacy Christians at Carnahan. Nice. Thank you.
Oh, ooh, they're real
Echoes.
good. Yeah, they're real good. That's a real good pickup. They had a few
I know they had some
kids.
really good Illinois teams like scheduled. Like that was like one of the ones that they really wanted to like beef up, and like getting Brownsburg in there obviously last year was good, and then getting some teams, but Illinois had to obviously back out. Carl
Yeah,
White's trying to put together, and that's like a really cool thing, which is kind of getting lost on with the COVID, is all these teams that were like starting to like travel outside the state and wrestle some of these bigger tournaments. They were going up into Michigan. I know Crown Point and Brownsburg had done that. Going into Illinois, going into Ohio. So doing the best we can with
oof.
what we got.
Yeah, Legacy. I'm looking at someone that does rankings there. Their 106 is ranked number 1. 13's 13th. Their D3, which is the smallest division. Their 20 pounders 5th. Their 26 is first. 32 is 15th. 38's 5th.
And I heard you
145.
can watch that live on
Yeah,
RSN.
yeah,
Hopefully, I'm trying to get my schedule to work where I can get there and do some broadcasting on that. Which, when there's a limited amount of people you can have in the place, it's cool to get in there and maybe watch some live wrestling.
yeah.
I didn't
145.
get to go to IndianaMat. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, at 145, Gavin Brown, he won IPO. He's ranked number 1. He's the one. He had a real good match with Watson. Watson gave it. So hopefully Jesse bumps up because I know Brown's nationally ranked.
Well, I
Um,
mean, like we kind of talked about that too, where and like obviously, I think people have been giving me a hard time telling me I'm like selling Crown Point too much. I think they see me wearing these Crown Point shirts and think somehow I'm all bulldogged up, but I'm out here. My daughters play for the Bulldogs softball program, but you know, Crown Point, like if Jesse bumps up, you're bumping out a really good kid. Like
yeah,
everyone in their lineup's pretty good, and that's like the hard part. There's some other programs like that where like it'd be like saying like, hey, like why doesn't Harrison Easton bump up? like because Franklin's really good up top, or you guys even.
Yeah.
Like why doesn't Bills bump up because
Yeah.
like you guys got Reeve,
Yeah. Yeah.
or Leper. Like why
Yeah.
doesn't Leper go get some matches at 220? Like because those guys are all really good.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And that's yeah. When they're all bunched up like that, you don't have any movable parts. I mean, especially when you're starting to get up in the upper weights, and then obviously, I mean, yeah, if you can't move those guys around, and if you're gonna bump up people, you're bumping someone good out of the lineup, or you're bumping half your lineup because technically,
Yeah.
if you want to bump up, say, Jesse, you're gonna have to bump up six guys all the way up to like 95.
Bump up to Teeny, and there's guys behind there that could jump in the lineup that are pretty good. Phil, I don't know if they're gonna. I know the Harvest is like they changed the format. I don't know if they're gonna do it. They haven't. They just contacted me for the Carnahan today, so I'm trying to make it work, but having kids is trying to ruin my life. All these guys know what I'm talking about, man.
Yes.
Like you make plans and then your kids try to do all kinds of other stuff.
Yes, you can't get them into wrestling.
Now my daughter is a wrestling manager for the Lowell Middle School. They beat
nice.
they beat Kaler today, so
Nice. That's good.
I was embarrassed. She thought she was gonna be setting up matches and walking them down to the ring. I said, nope, you're basically just keeping score.
That's what I'm trying to get my daughter to do. She's not taking a liking. I was like, you can just do the varsity. You don't have to do the middle school. You get straight from elementary to you get a promotion. So
yeah, it wasn't anything we pushed. Like it's just another thing that we added to our schedule with lessons and so now something she liked and
so it's Mike's taxi cab.
Yeah, no, it is, man. I'm putting miles on this truck, man. This truck's getting miles for sure.
Nice. Yeah.
We've been driving out to Lafayette for lessons. I'm gonna start catching some, Harrison duels, man. I'm right by Harrison High School all the time.
Go find out.
Start live casting their stuff.
Yeah, you need to talk to a wrestling scholar, and you can talk to him.
Meet up. Ran him out of town.
You got to mend the fence, get him back on the board.
Yeah, I'll bring him tacos.
I'll trace his IP address.
I talked to Hawk. I think I'm gonna do the Crown Point Chesterton duel on the Bulldog Premier Facebook page, which would be cool. That's gonna be a really good duel next Wednesday. I think that's gonna be probably the best duel in the region. Numbers wise, just kind of crunching numbers, it's gonna be good rankings wise. I mean, obviously Hobart's going to be a good team, and a lot of the DAC schools are good. But I think that's one that could have some. If there was a team, both those guys aren't. Is Chesterton at the team state?
Yes, they are. But it's number 2 and it's number 2 and number 3 in the dual rankings.
Yeah, so, that's going to be really good.
Yeah.
Phil, your daughter's a pretty good gymnastics girl, right? She's a gymnast. Conrad. I'm pretty sure. I think I see him post. Maybe a different daughter.
Nice. Yeah. So, let's see. What else do we have to talk about? Anything else? What's exciting going on? When's the next set of rankings coming? I know I've been keeping my eye on it, trying to keep up with adding new wrestlers. Always the beginning of the year is always a pain in the butt with rankings because I usually have to add 5 to 10 guys. So I'm trying to keep up on that a little bit more.
I think. Especially tonight. Like tonight will be a good one. Like obviously. Once I see all these, I could probably get the semi-state rankings could probably go right now, honestly. And then state rankings are be a little bit tougher just because there's a little bit more information to go through. But they're probably close right now too. We switched some stuff up. Some guys have been moving around. Some guys that I thought were going to be at some weights are going to be at different weights. 6 has been one that's changing a bunch. I mean, 6 is always going to be one that's always kind of in flux early on. And then, like I said, like getting some of the rankings, semi-state stuff done, like I like to see what those guys think also. I respect what those guys do a ton with Triple B and Howie and Caleb. So you can kind of see what those guys do. And their semi-state rankings are going to be different than mine. And sometimes, and it's funny, because sometimes my semi-state rankings are different than my state rankings. But we kind of put that stuff together at Hobart and Chesterton at Hobart Duels in 2 weeks. That'd be good too, because there's gonna be some really good matches there. Hopefully, I mean, obviously Hobart's gonna have could get some practice under their belt and getting wrestling shape. Where Chesterton's, I don't know if those guys double up. I know Bates is, Bates Bobby Babcock could be a really good match, but Bobby's gonna have to get in wrestling shape because I think that's what Bates does year round. Some of the stuff, I guess we can talk about that. Like you're starting to get some guys that are falling out of the rankings that were really good for different reasons, whether it's grades or guys not wrestling. And it sounds like the rumor on the street is, and I'm going to take him out of the rankings for us, that Christian Carroll's not going to compete in high school this year. And we did a whole thing on him last week about how good he was and how that's going to be exciting. And then you hear that he's not going to compete for Penn. And I'm going to keep him out until they wrestle and we see. But right now it's sounding that he's going to go the national route. And and this is like a tough year for that. I mean, obviously that's my opinion.
Yeah.
But like you're not getting like the Ironman bid this year.
Yeah. Now that's going to be interesting because, yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously you said you got a projected Penn lineup and he wasn't in there. That's a head shaker. I know we were going back and forth. So, I mean, you definitely. I mean,
4 different people that he's not going to wrestle now.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I mean, that's you look at the Nick and Joe and the Lees, how they kind of ended they took their last year and went to Penn State to train, and it's one of those things that maybe that's the way to go. Not put the grind on your body, not put the wrestling high school kids. When he Carroll was on the. And I was talking to someone the other day. I go, Carroll was on the national radar for a while. But then didn't wrestle last year because of an injury. And then all of a sudden, he was a surprise, but he wasn't a surprise. All the national rankers and stuff were like, okay, we knew about him. He was on our watch list, but kind of fall off when you don't participate and you don't have you have a bunch of youth stuff on your resume. But, so, I mean, he wasn't a surprise. I mean, he's jumped from unranked to top 3 in the country real quick in about 3 week span. So,
yeah, I had some people asking me kind of, did I think that how that would affect? I don't think it would affect his like ranking, like college prospects. Like obviously he's still gonna be able to wrestle some, but this is like a weird year to do that, because you're not gonna like you're not really sure if they're, and I think they will. I'm pretty optimistic. I'm a very optimistic human being in general. I think like they'll have Fargo and all that stuff, and if that's what he's gonna train for, great. But you knew the Lees were going to kind of go that route because I think Nick has I wouldn't have been surprised like if Stefan did that either. But Stefan wrestled all 4 years. But there was talk his senior year of him not competing. But like he's like trying to be an Olympian. Like he is an Olympian. It's not even trying.
He is. Yeah, literally.
He's an Olympian, and that's a guy that I think gets overlooked in the like when people are talking about the best ever come out. Like high school wise aside, like. That guy's gonna wrestle in the Olympics and he's an Indiana kid.
Yeah,
And
there's only been a few Indiana people wrestle in the Olympics, and most of them were back in the 40s and 50s. So
he qualified an entire country for the Olympics. It's pretty amazing, and it's not the United States.
Yeah,
but and if what's the kid from Iowa that thinks that's like wrong? Like
Gilman.
Yeah, Thomas Gilman.
Yeah, he's at Penn State now. But yeah.
I'm all Iowa out. I know there's a lot of Iowa fans on here. I'm all Iowa out.
Oh goodness, oh my goodness. Yeah. Speaking of, freestyle and stuff. I know they're having the club duels this weekend in Cincinnati. Should be pretty good. Starts Friday. Yeah. Paris and Gable will be in the same pool, so they are likely to hit up. I know Michigan or Cliff Keen, Michigan club, they have Kuhn on their list also, so we might see a Gable Stevenson match. I know Brayton Lee is on the roster for Minnesota's team.
Stefan's on the roster for Michigan.
He is not going to be wrestling. From what?
No.
No, they said that he's going to. They're having, I guess, a world. They're not having worlds, but they're having a World Cup kind of invitational type thing in Serbia. So
But at one point they were promoting him as their like 50, like
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay,
he
I
was.
was like, second.
Yeah, I think with Worlds coming up and with him, basically them having it in Serbia was was kind of like, hey, you need, since this is your home country, you need to be here wrestling, and so he's going to do that and doesn't want to put. I know the 57 cut is probably not easy for him, and there's this is nice. You can get some money, and obviously I don't think he can because he's in college, but it's nice, but it's the Worlds are something. I think they're footing a good, nice little bill for him and stuff. I don't know how that all works out, but it just sounds like he's getting compensated
I like
well.
Stefan, but is there ever a time that you would have thought that he's gonna like finish his last college year after like Chad?
No, it's him and Nick Lee are the same year technically right now.
Yeah, because like Stefan had like a medical, then he's had like an Olympic. He's probably got to take another Olympic red shirt.
Well, this year's not gonna count for them. So him and Nick Lee, who wrestled, they wrestled when Lee was a freshman and Stefan was a senior, are gonna graduate college the same year.
That's crazy, man. That's wild, right?
Yeah. If he takes, because Stefan technically can wrestle for 2 years basically, because he has 1 year of eligibility left, and this year is a free year. So I mean, it would be interesting if he stays for another year. I don't know. I mean, after a while, you probably get tired of college. I know I was. But...
You think he's a doctor? He could be.
Yeah. Yes. He's going to be collecting Social Security. But yeah, I don't know what. I know he definitely has Olympic aspirations. Obviously, he's going to be wrestling at the Olympics. So I don't know if another year in college after this year will stay. I know Michigan's supposed to have a real good team this year and next. I think they got a guy that's they got the transfer in that's getting some shoulder surgery or something. So he was already planning on taking a red shirt. So they're going to be pretty loaded for the next couple of years. So do you stay for a possible team title or team trophies, or do you kind of just say, hey, I'm good,
And Iowa's going to be right in that mix too, man. Iowa's going to be, and I like, I'm not a big Iowa guy. Like, we went to the NCAA's that year in Iowa, and I was like, I don't like these guys anymore. But no, it'd be good. That'd be really good. But like, don't you think like you knew that was the route they were going, and maybe Christian Carroll has those same aspirations. And I have no clue. I don't even know the guy. I don't know the family. That's like one of the families I really don't know. But like, you knew that's what the Lees wanted to do. Like Nick Lee, that was what they said. Like, he was gonna be he wants to wrestle in the Olympics. That's his goal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wouldn't be shocked. And like, obviously, I know Hector. I've never really talked to him about it. Like, would you be shocked if Jesse was like, hey, I'm gonna go wrestle at the Olympic Training Center and compete for the Olympics? Like he's obviously has aspirations to be beyond what he's doing now,
Yeah. In high school, I mean, for someone like Jesse, high school is just he's just going out there and not being challenged. It's almost boring for a kid of his level to wrestle every weekend, every couple times a week to tech ball a high school kid that
But I think he's kind of like Brayton to me. Me and my brother were just talking about this, where he really loves the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he loves to wrestle. He comes off a mat and he's excited. He was excited last year in the state finals. He almost got pinned. Like, he was like,
yes.
Like, he was like, that was awesome. Yeah, I'm sure your dad had a heart attack. Like, I think your mom had a heart attack. He's like, that was great, man. And that's his boy, obviously. Yeah. But like Brayton loves to wrestle. Like, that dude will wrestle all the time. Like, when he at Dream Team, he loved that. That was his favorite thing.
Yeah.
And like I said, probably Karma and his dad probably had a heart attack too. I know Nick had a severe anxiety.
Yes.
But he loved it. That's what he was there for. He's I love to compete. I love to wrestle.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's guys that like it. There's a lot of people that like it. Obviously we do this, we like it. Maybe not as competing, but those guys love to just be in the grind. Like when he was like, I was talking to Hector about him going to UWWs. He was like just excited to get good matches and like go compete. I think he just loves competing.
Yeah, he hasn't missed. I mean, Brayton was the same way. A lot of those guys, they're not afraid to go out and find every match possible, especially the
Oh
good
yeah.
match. The good matches. I mean, that's what those guys do, and they're fun to wrestle and they're fun to watch wrestle. So
Yeah, like, and I know we talked about it last year, and dude, we can go on about all this stuff, but you read the article about Chad, like he got like mentally was getting burnt out at Nebraska, like he had to go see a sports psychiatrist, and like and that's a guy that is going to go down as one of the best wrestlers to ever wrestle in Indiana, to come out of our state. He's a 3-time All-American. Is he
yeah,
3-time or 2-time?
two-time real
2-time.
All-American. Then he was honored this year with an All-American. I mean, you could
Yeah.
call it three-time. I mean, he's a three. He'll be yeah, he'll be a four-time
And,
at least, if not
and look
five-time.
at like Yeah, look at like and he did it like a crazy way, because his freshman year he had to pin a champ to like get to
Two-time,
the
two-time champ.
2-time champ and mixed them,
Yeah,
and like that's a guy that at some point like was like burnt out on it.
yeah,
And you see it in high school kids where they're like burnt out on it. These guys, it's a lot, man. It's definitely a lot. It's a grind.
yeah. So no, it's pretty neat to see. And you kind of wonder. I mean, that's especially after the path the Lees took.
Yeah.
Are more people getting that idea? What would you do as a parent? I was kind of looking. I mean, obviously as a fan, I would love to see the Lees. They're great kids, great family, and they're fun to watch, and they just get after it. I mean,
Matt too. Matt took
yeah,
the last year off also, right?
yeah, yeah. So I would, as a fan, it was kind of a bummer, like them going, not wrestling their last year. So, and obviously you want that, but at the same time, they're looking way past an Indiana state title, and obviously, Carroll's doing that, and
Yeah,
Bright,
Joe ended up hitting that kid from Bucknell extra quick, right?
yeah, like
Didn't
20
he?
seconds.
Yeah, it worked out for him.
Yeah,
Um,
and Nick wrestled Brandon Wright. That was tech fall early in the second period. Nick kind of just picked him apart, which was pretty impressive. I mean, Nick was the favorite, but Brandon can wrestle with anybody. And there was a couple good scrambles there. Then Nick was just looked a little bit sharper in some points.
did and then Snyder did something similar. Like he left and went to Olympic Training Center his last 2 years, right, of high school.
His last year of high school, yeah, he went out to the Olympic Training Center there too, yeah, and so did a couple other people.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not like unheard of, and obviously like that guy's getting like someone's like telling him like that's the route, and that's fine. Like I'm not like upset about it, but I hope that works out for him, because you only get so much, and this is like the old. I just turned 38. You see this gray hair on the side when it's not cut short. And obviously you see Joe's is like fading back. You only get so many matches, man, to
Yeah.
be with like your friends and stuff, and you only get like so much high school. You only get one day you're gonna wake up and high school's gonna be done, and you're gonna have to like go to work every day. You don't get summer breaks anymore unless you're a teacher, and it's not really like fun summer breaks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I agree completely. I mean, Brayton has a great set of friends. I know. I mean, they were all there in their suit and ties, but yeah, you don't. I mean, the high school experience is something you only get once, and go to prom, go hang out with your friends, and Brayton was like the golf manager. I don't know if anyone that was the coolest thing. He was like a manager for the golf team. Like, you don't even get managers for golf teams, but he was, because that's
He lived
him.
it, man.
Yeah,
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 like he lived it, and
Yeah.
that's like the thing. I hope that like it works. I really do, like, because anytime Indiana does well, I think it's good for the entire state, and I hope that he continues to like crush guys on the national level, because that looks good for us as a whole.
hmm
And obviously, like win a Super 32 is big, but you just don't want to look back and be like, man, I wish that I could have did this or did that, because there's so many of those guys that don't. Like, look at like a guy like Pico, like he went like a different route, and I wonder, I'm betting he wished that he would have went the college route and did some stuff, because he was a really good wrestler when he was competing.
Yes, yeah. I think he hasn't had quite the career in MMA that he anticipated. Obviously, he's probably still making some good money.
Yeah.
So, hold on. I need to run upstairs real quick. So talk away.
Oh, cool, man. Let's answer some questions. Let's
Questions from
do the
friends.
Q&A. I wonder if Jackson's going to be at 13 for the whole year. I think that he could make a run at 6. But like we were kind of saying before, 6 is like a weird weight, man. Uh, you always get like a bunch of guys switching all over. Uh, that's why having like Jeff Bailey. I seen someone ask that Jeff Bailey. I think he's already made scratch. I think he like one of their first duels. He was already at 6. So
I'm back.
Bailey and Mickey.
Ooh.
Just talk about 106 again.
Yeah, I heard you. I had my headphones on. The dog was.
Heavyweight's always easy, a little bit easier because those guys kind of return to the same weight.
Yes. That's probably usually you work top down. The only bad thing about heavyweight, those upper weights is, you got so many seniors. You might be going into regional qualifiers at some point to see if there's anybody to rank.
Yeah. I mean, this year we had some guys come in, and I always say this, and it's very true. Like that freshman sophomore state has been huge. Like whoever was like, hey, you know what you do this? Genius. That's brilliant. That was brilliant.
That's Mark Durham.
Mark Durham, brilliant.
Yeah, and that's been great for the state and great for the kids. I know we've had some kids that kind of started to make a breakout there. I mean, I know like someone like Lepper. I know that was one that you probably saw there that never really was doing much, placed 4th, and kind of put on the radar pretty quickly when you do.
I like to go back and look at those like 2 years after them to see, and a lot of those guys win. And that was like where AJ Fowler broke out. Like he won that and then won state 2 years later. But it's so hard at those bigger weights to make those splashes. Like there's not a lot of Sean Strecks. Like Sean was a 4-time medalist. Like that just doesn't happen at heavyweight. It does, but it's very rare. But like you can get some of those guys that had some of those tough times, and Crown Point has some young guys up top now, like freshman and sophomore at the heavyweight. That they might take some lumps in that lineup that are gonna have some real like tough times, and then kind of they can go to those freshman sophomore. My dude Jeff Bailey's on here right now. Everyone's asking, man, you staying at 6? Happy birthday! That guy had a birthday yesterday.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Oh, that's good.
They should do a true JV state. Rick's right, man. Because there's been some dudes that have been like I'm like talking like, and this is no disrespect, and maybe JV does feel like that. But man, like there's some dudes in these lineups, and Warren Central is like one of those squads that has some guys in the middle. Crown Point has some guys like that are like behind some guys. Perry always has a couple dudes that could break in the lineup. That could legitimately go and be in modern days like one of those teams that have dudes all the time. Like they could throw a guy out there. Like Fitz was out of the lineup after he was a state qualifier. Fitz lost Friday night on like an overtime match or a real tight match, and then doesn't get in the lineup for like 2 years or a year. Like they should have a legit JV state. I like that.
Yeah, this is. I'm looking at the previous one. This must have been this year's. Oh, that's a qualifier. No wonder those names are like. I brought it up, and then let's see, 2019 Frostoff. Yeah, there we go. I was looking at the South qualifier. I'm like, why are these names? I recognize these names, but I don't recognize. This is not it. Let's see. 2 years ago, it would be 2019. So these guys will either be juniors or seniors at this point. Ike Rubel, Chris Newman, Brad Cooper, Jeffrey Bailey. Yeah. Johnny Cortez. Why is this doing this?
Guys at the state finals.
Yeah.
Like the heavyweight, it's like Anton Alexander, like Johnson. All those guys were like competing there.
Yeah. Heavyweight was, let's see. There was Alexander, Caden Souders. He's ranked. Reeve, Muncie, Matt Munoz. I don't know where Turk guy is. Ray Stewart. He was undefeated last year until the. Got David Gould at 220. Josh Howell. Garrett Sandifer, he was a state qualifier. Jacob Johnson from Franklin. Ashton Hartwell. Bobby Babcock. Isaiah Street. Yeah, just a lot of Hayden Flipovich, first state qualifier in Lutheran history. Will Nix.
Medalist, right? Hayden Flipovich got him a medal.
Yeah. Let's see. Clayton Lundy, Cody Timmerman, Johnny Parker, Connor Barkett, Jason Strack, Matt Morris, Richard
And I
Clemenser.
bet there's dudes down there that haven't like got that breakout yet, that are
Yeah,
gonna like that will like that you'll be like, man, like this guy came out of nowhere. It's like, nah, he was out there doing it.
yeah, yeah. Tristan Ruhlman, Bryce Buckley. Yeah, there's some names. Tyler Turley, Brody Porter, Scott Fitz, Brock Carrington. We were just talking about him. Juwan Anderson, Nate Lomick, Spencer Phillips, Ulrich Uraski, Griffin Ison, Ben Wilson, Ben Wolf. Yeah, I mean it's kind of crazy to see all these
All
guys
the
that
guys that
are.
are rankings,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's any other ones that are that are ready to break out. Hayhurst, Stroud, Logan Bowe, Landon Bowe, Brody Bauman, Carson Johnson. I think he's in the rankings. Hayden Watson, Nick Castiello, Ethan Higgins,
Carson
Tatini.
Johnson, he just got a big win, right? That's who we were talking about from Mount Vernon.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
just beat Hughes, Lawrence North last week.
yeah. You got Nick Tatini at 120. What's he wrestling now? 170.
Yeah,
He put on the
hey, those guys are out there lifting weights, man.
yes, yeah,
Yeah, I think 220 will be interesting with Roman too. I think Roman, like, I always find it interesting when those guys jump weights like that because it's like a different style. Like you're like kind of coming across like a very like different like the guys that have been 220 forever don't really like. I mean, even Evan Bates like is a guy that has came up a bunch of weight. He's like 170, then came up. Tristan Roman's been across several weights. Like he's gonna wrestle different than a guy that's been a 220 forever.
yeah. He is all of 220. I know he weighed in at like 220 at IPO. So you weren't, you always wonder if, when you jump up that many weights, was he just not wanting to cut weight for a preseason tournament, or was he full
Yeah.
220? And he was, and I was looking at, 95. Is he just kind of bumping up because he wants to get the competition, or is he actually, nope, he was 220 and he looked 220. So, yeah, the Bulldog.
I like that. That's good. Someone's there, man. Someone's helping those guys get big.
Yeah. They have quite a few guys jumping up a couple weights this year, so that's good. And some of them kind of have to make the lineup, because we were talking about that before. I mean, that's just a loaded lineup top to bottom, and there's no easy way out. You either cut weight or you're probably gonna gain weight.
Yeah, there's probably one guy in the lineup that can say, "Hey, this is why I'm gonna wrestle." And then everyone else is like, "Okay, I'm gonna." It's kind of like what 32 happened in the state,
Yes.
So that guy's gonna go 26, and this guy's gonna go 32 or 38. All right, cool, man.
Everyone in the States.
There could be some interesting matches. Maybe we'll get a Logan Wagner, Jesse Mendez at Zionsville this weekend.
Yeah, the Westfield Shamrock Duels is split into two. And what do you say at Zions? It's Zionsville and Westfield. Zionsville has what do they have? They have they have Zionsville. We just had it up here a minute ago. I'm looking it up.
Yorktown, right? Or is Yorktown with you guys?
I don't think they're with us. I don't know. I think they're. Let's see.
I have it right here.
Yeah,
Ben Davis, Crown Point, Fishers, Northrop, Homestead, Mount Vernon, Fortville, Yorktown, and Zionsville.
Yes. So that should be some good matchups there for Zionsville. I think obviously Crown Point is head and shoulders above everyone there. So
Yeah, that's why you wrestle them, though. You want to see where Zionsville's at. I think it'll be Zionsville's tough there. Don't sleep on my boy Quinn Harris, man. He's out here training guys on the lowdown.
Hey, maybe he pulls out a KT Nelson out of Ben Davis. I know there's been rumors that he's at Ben Davis. We haven't seen anything for sure. I'm sure Quinn would tell us. Yeah,
that's a guy you're getting me on these sideways things. KT's a guy that. I sent his dad a message too. He's a guy that should be in the state. He's so talented, it's unreal. That guy.
Yeah.
That guy should be wrestling. somewhere.
And he's a fun kid to. I mean, he'll get after it too. I mean, he's not afraid to go for a big move here and there.
Yeah.
so, so he'd definitely add some intrigue to the state finals. And the Shamrock Duels, the second one, actually number one at Westfield, has Carmel, Carroll, Delta, Greencastle. And Greencastle has a sneaky good team. Hamilton Southeastern, Lawrence Central, Mount Vernon, Posey, and then Westfield. And Westfield has a pretty solid team. They have guys on football.
So both Mount Vernons are there. So you got Fortville, Zionsville, and Posey's with you guys.
Yeah, I wish they'd be able to wrestle because then they could. One will be officially Mount Vernon, the other has to use the parentheses. I think that's how it
what I
should
keep saying. I want to see Carol from Florida wrestle the Superchargers, man.
Did I ever tell you about the one time the Carroll RTC?
Yeah, you did. That's great. I didn't know that was a thing, man. I didn't know we weren't supposed to say Fort Wayne Carroll. It's just Carroll, huh?
Yeah, yes, it is just Carroll. They, for those people that don't know, there's someone that sent me a message about coming to our RTC, and I'm like, yeah, enter door 13. Just you walk down the hallway, and then just to the right is a wrestling room, and the guy's like, he's sending me a message like, I'm here. I go, I'm in the wrestling room. I go, you should, see me. And I was walking around. He's like, is this the one in Fort Wayne or in the Flora? I'm like, Fort Wayne. And he was at the Carroll Flora. So that was quite interesting to see. And hopefully he I don't know if he ever made it to an RTC, but that's he was a little disappointed that he was at the wrong Carroll. So, yep.
You think? I mean, I never even thought of it. Like when you're in Evansville, do you say Evansville Harrison or you just say Harrison?
Probably say Harrison when you're in Evansville.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, like around here we call Snyder, Northrop, North Side. I mean, we don't put those are like their official designated names for the state. So, and Carroll is 100% Carroll High School, but Fort Wayne is just the designated between that and the other Carroll.
Yeah, we just in the region we just have regular names. So
yeah, yes,
it's just Crown Point. It's just Lowell. It's just Calumet.
That's because they're all different towns and cities and.
Nah, but we call it Gary Westside.
I guess Gary Westside. Yeah.
We call it Gary Westside.
Yeah.
And I guess if you weren't like, if you're saying Northside, what do how do you know it's from Fort Wayne, man?
Yeah. Well, when you're saying North, yeah.
We don't have many Gary high schools anymore.
No.
I mean, Calumet's technically a kind of a Gary high school, but it's not like Gary School Corporation.
Yeah. What are the biggest cities there? Hammond has 2 high schools, or at least for another year.
No, they have 4 high schools, man.
Oh, they have 4.
Morton, Hammond, Clark, Gavitt. I guess we just call it Gavitt. Yeah, do you call it South Bend, Washington, or just Washington?
Well, I say South Bend, Washington, because I'm not from Washington. It's from South Bend, but
yeah, I don't know, man. Try to think. Maybe we don't call it. I always call it like Hammond, Gavitt, but it's just Gavitt, Clark, Morton, Hammond High.
Yeah, so
we just call it High. I don't know.
We're going off on lots of good tangents, but yeah, the Shamrock Duels should be.
There's 5 high schools in Hammond, man.
Lowell? Is that what you said? Noel. Bishop Noel, yes. I thought you said Lowell.
They were good wrestling, man. When David was there, they had a squad.
Yeah, they had to work, yeah. So, back to the Shamrock Duels. Should be some good matches. I know it's Carroll, Westfield, Hamilton Southeastern, and Greencastle in one pool, so I know there's not going to be an easy match there, because Greencastle's are they at Team State? I think they might be at Team State. But they have a couple of Carringtons.
Yeah, about 3 Carringtons. They got a Fox that's pretty good, Jacob Fox. They have a good squad, man.
Yeah.
I think they kind of fall. They come in that Brownsburg, like Mooresville regional also, right? It's a little tough over there.
Yes, it's decent there.
Like those guys, I think those guys are a little bit not underrated. Like obviously in the rankings, but Man, that's tough, man. That Mooresville regional is no joke, man. I like to liken it to the old Calumet regional from when I was there. Griffith and like Central running guys out of there.
Yes.
Highland was good. Calumet, Portage wasn't there. Portage was not the other one.
Yeah.
But there was like a while where it was like Portage and Maryville were real good, and they were coming out of the same regional. So,
Let's, let's see.
did you guys request not to be in Crown Points?
No,
Jeff?
they did not. They split that up themselves from everything. I mean, we didn't have anything to do with that. Oops, okay, got canceled. I think that event's canceled. But yeah, they split them up, and I was glad that they kept us away from Homestead because we were supposed to wrestle them tonight. I didn't want to see them again. Delta, we possibly will see them next week, so we're at least in separate pools. So if we do what we're supposed to do, we don't have to worry about them.
As a coach, do you prefer to like wrestle teams from across the state like that? Like, they used to say that a long time ago, and I was like, they're like, that's that region style, that tough style. And I'm like, I don't know what that means. But then you see it, like, they're a little bit more aggressive. They're a little heavier on the head. But, like, do you feel like there's a different, like the different areas of the state wrestle different? Do you guys you guys are pretty good. I mean, you guys compete with a lot of guys.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's different areas of, the competition. The Indy area wrestles a little bit different. The region, South Bend area wrestles different. Evansville, we don't see enough of them. I know they wrestle a little bit different style. I know. Shush it. That's the main reason why we go to places like this is Al Smith and Team State when we are invited. Just invite us, please.
Not this year, right?
Nope.
Who's the representative this year?
There's no Fort Wayne in 4A.
That's right. You guys got the rule.
They made the Carroll rule. Yes. So,
some would say it's the Harrison rule.
Yes.
I had to put myself in block for that. That was like one of those times I was really upset.
Yeah. No. We like to see that, and the other reason why we like to do that is we see different refs. As a coach, I like to know how different areas of the state, just like there are different areas in with wrestling styles, referees call things different in different like associations. So we see a little bit different reffing. So going down to Indy or going over to Mishawaka, you see different sets of refs, and they call things like mainly like stalling, fleeing the mat, things like that. They call them differently, and that's one thing.
They call it right?
Yes. Whatever area it is, they're calling it right.
That's like what was that? Was that 2 years ago? That they were really upset about the officiating. They said like there's too many stall calls at the Al Smith.
Yeah.
Is that 2 years ago?
Yeah. That area does call stalling a lot, and which I'm not against it. I'm just glad I know about it. And our kids know about it. When we see these refs, we know they're going to call stalling a little bit quicker. We also know that.
So someone asked me that before. I think we talked about it when that happened. They're like these like region refs, and South Bend's not the region. I was like,
no, it is not.
I don't know, man. I feel like I don't ever feel like it's like egregious. There's never a time I'm ever like I can't believe that. You know?
Yeah, it's just
but I'm from the region, so like maybe I'm on the opposite. There's a lot of times I'm like I can't believe they're not calling stalling right now.
Yeah, region, calls it. They call stalling a little bit better. So you going over to Mishawaka, South Bend area, you don't see very much of a difference. Fort Wayne to South Bend area, there's a big difference. Indy, then obviously down south. When they don't see those refs, they don't understand that. And that's one thing I know we, going into Al Smith, we do make sure we mention hey, these guys are going to call stalling. They're going to call stalling a little bit differently. It's one of the reasons we come here. It's one of the reasons, we want you to see that competition, but also see these refs that that we have, I won't mention names, but, Troy Hahn, he's probably, but, he's going to call things, they're a little, it's a little bit different factions of refs, and I don't think,
Troy's like a guy. I mean, obviously, like I know you're giving Troy a little bit of a hard time, but I think he calls it pretty good.
yeah,
I
he
mean,
does.
guys that do call it a lot quicker than others, like without a doubt.
Yeah,
And like I mean, I've done it on the broadcast where I'm like, they're about to get hit right now.
yeah,
Boom, they get hit.
yeah,
But I don't see any problem with like there's times where like I feel like man like there's literally nothing this guy can do. Like
yeah,
I don't know if you're calling stalling on that. Like some guys are getting like sometimes we're still like dealing with high school kids and hopefully no one's on here and they're gonna get their feelings hurt. But sometimes they're just you know outside of that. There's just some kids that are better on the mat than others.
yeah, definitely. So yeah, that's I like doing that. As a coach, I get to see those refs. I get to know how to coach my kids. With these refs, I know also if we need to scratch a ref when we see them at semi-state or state that we need to, this ref.
Have you scratched a ref before?
Oh yes, I
Are
was.
they upset? Do they get pissed?
Sometimes they do. Sometimes it's more of a, I don't know. I know one I scratched at state because he was a lawyer and someone got upset on the message board about something and he sent me a little letter trying to kind of threaten me. So I scratched him at state and then he was a little upset and I'm like, you kind of threatened me and like you're going to sue me and try to do something with IndianaMat. So I'm like, I'm not going to have you roughing my kid's match. And I mean, that was a true, I mean, that was a scenario where I don't want that guy who already, maybe he wants to sue me. I don't know what he wants to do, but you do that to me. I don't want you to take that out of my kid, and that's.
Well, even if you don't even want that in your head, right? Like,
yeah,
because even like if there's a questionable call, you're gonna feel that way.
yeah.
I mean, as a coach, I think you have to do that, right? You have to look out
Yeah.
what's best for your kid. If you feel like you don't want someone that's not gonna, those guys do a good job, man.
Yeah.
Every now and again, like there's times where I think, but it's hard, man, and that's not a job I want.
No, it's not easy. It's easier. It's way easier to ref from the coaching chair or from the stands. I mean, it's easier to look back and say that was a bad call.
Yeah.
And
I
stuff.
have the best chair to do it from. I do it from the
and on the mic, no.
Yeah, no. Sometimes mic maybe a little bit over the top, but those guys do a good job, man. And I think that the best thing is that they really care about like doing a good job.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like those guys will like go back and watch video. Like there's been a lot of times where they're like watching like their own like movements, not even just like calls, like how they're moving, how they're like positioning themselves, which is really cool. I don't think a lot of people look at it like that. And Robert kind of said that about the not the NFL, but the high school football guys. But there's like older officials in Indiana that like are gonna start kind of aging out. They need younger guys.
Yeah, definitely. So it's a great side hustle. Definitely, you can make a lot of money. I know I did it for a few years. I did a lot of middle school stuff, and I did it for like 3 or 4 weeks, and I was bringing in like $150, $200 extra a couple of weeks every week.
One
I
of
was
my
like,
boys did a duel the other night, and he said he had 4 matches. You get paid the same amount.
Yeah, you get $60 for $60-$70 for that.
Yeah, 4 matches.
Yeah, I had one where they wanted 2 officials for JV. I ended up doing like 3 matches for like $60. I was like, and I didn't even do the weigh-ins because I had practice and they called me kind of last minute. And luckily the main ref was a good friend, so he's like, yeah, I'll do the weigh-ins. You just get there, make sure I don't have to. And then I felt bad because he did like 3 JV matches. I only did like 2. I was like, I can do the other one. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so if you're out there and you want to keep it going, man, $60 a time, not bad.
Yeah, $60-$70 for a weeknight, and then you get 150, 300. I don't know. I mean, depends on the event, but it's a nice little side hustle, and you get to stay involved in the sport, and heck, you get the best seat in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I like officials are good guys. I mean, we had that meeting this week, and obviously, usually that's a little bit more fun when you see all the officials and you get to see them in a relaxed environment, and you're not like game face on, getting ready to, coach or wrestle.
Spike's out here making money, man.
Yeah.
He said he got $1,000 worth of matches.
That's nice. Awesome. I mean, that's an
80-inch TV, my dude.
Yes. Yeah. No, I mean, if you're not doing anything in the winter, you can pick up. I mean, heck, I'd go do. I wish I had the time to do, JV. I like reffing. I actually do. I just kind of like coaching a little bit better. Um,
Yeah.
but I'd love to do some JV stuff and be around the sport. So, Larry,
I seen someone posted that like Mishawaka beat Warsaw 73-0. That's crazy, man.
yeah,
I
Warsaw
saw
some
that earlier.
Warsaw has some pretty good guys there, and I mean I know Mishawaka lost some horses, I know, but they still return a pretty solid lineup.
Yeah, I talked to Steve. They got like some younger guys coming in that are pretty good too, which is exciting for those guys.
Yeah,
Those guys do a good job, man. Steve's such a good dude.
yeah, yes he is.
I wonder if Linky wrestles. I know Linky hadn't been in the lineup, but I mean he'd be right in that mix with like Timmerman and those guys. So
Yeah, yeah, he'd be right there. It should be interesting to see what they when you get the box score there. Um,
we were rough friend of the state, Larry Babcock. I've been on the mic with Larry. Larry's a good dude.
yeah, so
They said Larry's like a volleyball coach now.
interesting. Is that
College softball coach.
I assume that's the 220 from
Yeah, that's Bobby's dad.
Bobby's dad.
Yeah, he's
Nice.
a good guy, man. I like him.
Nice. So, anything else we want to talk about? We kind of went off on lots of different subjects. We'll probably be back Sunday. We'll have some good
It sounds
action
like
to talk
this.
about.
A lot of people have a lot of input on this. Calling your area
Yes.
South Bend, and
Yes.
I think this will be like this is usually like the first real like weekend of like wrestling. I know a lot of duels are going on, and there's some early tournaments, but now you're starting to get football teams back. There should be some good matches coming up. So that's exciting. That's always exciting. The rankings will be good.
Sounds good. We should be having rankings being posted out probably about almost weekly now. Once we start getting the matches, they're starting to hit, and we're getting some weight. Hopefully everyone's staying healthy and off the quarantine. I know we just went back in person this week, so I'm hoping that we can survive until after tomorrow and no one get quarantine. I know we had two kids. Oh my goodness, two kids that were on quarantine came back last week, and within a couple days they're both gone again. I was like, oh my goodness, you got to be kidding me, you guys. They some people outside of school got the COVID, so they had to quarantine for another 2 weeks. I'm like, no, you just got back. So hopefully you guys stay out.
Yeah, and I mean the other thing is like, thanks to everyone that's posting results, man. Like in the duels, I know Dane had posted that out for Team State stuff. If you guys watch, and like that's how he does the seedings with that information. Like post that stuff, man. Like that's always cool, and it like automatically feeds into your profile. So when you want to show your friends at school all the guys you beat, and your GPA and your attended to college weight, it looks a lot cooler when there's a lot of names in there. It doesn't look as cool when there's not a lot.
Yep, yeah. So definitely, you go into our results area. You go individual results, dual results, all that stuff, and those get posted. The Decatur Central and Monrovia match that was just posted.
Oh wow, Valpo beat Maryville.
Oh wow, interesting. That is very, yeah. Ooh, New Haven Norwell had a good match. So those are all in there. Take a look at that stuff. Make sure you're posting your results. Get that stuff updated. And it's always good to see your profile because all these coaches will email me and say, "No, my team is 17-4." Well, I have you as 1-4 because you didn't report any of your results. Like, I just they don't magically appear there, and I'm not searching everywhere for results because that's kind of hard. I mean, I find some, I'll put some in there, but it's never the easiest thing. Oh, Maryville didn't have a 6 or 13.
Oh, I think they bought
or 52 or 52.
Yeah.
So that's I'm gonna assume some kids were on Streck wrestled heavyweight.
Yeah, but I think that like they have another kid that's a heavyweight too. So
Yeah.
I don't know, bumping some guys around, maybe some gamesmanship, but good win for Valpo, man. Coming up, another guy's been putting a lot of work in, and Valpo didn't have one of their really good guys.
Oh yeah, no, they. I mean, at this point, rankings. I do not want to be Dane doing team rankings. Your rankings can be a little bit. If you don't have the matchups, you're not going to be too upset. Yeah. But I mean, Maryville missing 3 guys. They didn't have Wu.
Yeah, Vitello wasn't in the lineup for Valpo, so I mean that's a
Good.
guy that's pretty good for them. That's not wrestling.
Yeah.
And today, like like you said, like he could have been around someone that got the quarantine,
Yeah.
got the
Yeah.
queue.
He got put in the queue for 2 weeks, and that's one thing that we were talking about. Like they could be, you're basically missing 3 weeks because if you're out 10 days or 14 days, which is 10 practices, you got 4 practices to you have to make up. So one of the Kwiatkowskis, Colin was in. I saw him
Yeah,
there.
both of them were in.
Yeah, so that was but yeah, you get, and then I mean I know you're gonna get the my kid just came off. He literally just had 4 practices after being off 2 weeks. So it's gonna be an interesting year, team rankings wise. Maribel. When's the last time Maribel forfeited 3 weight classes in a duel?
Been a lot, man.
Yeah, so my guess is some kids are, you know, on the quarantine or whatever it is. And I know some teams are losing kids because parents are like, I know I don't want my kid to be around this stuff and all that fun jibber jabber that goes on with everything that's going on this year. So I mean, we're gonna have to deal with it. Let's get through the season. Let's have a healthy and safe and complete season. that's my goal. So, but anyway, any other last parting words? I know it's almost 11 o'clock. It's way past my bedtime.
It's only 10 o'clock for me, my man. You want another hour of this?
The
Nah.
after hours show. We're gonna have the pay-per-view for the after hours show where we talk off the record.
Where we keep it real.
Yes. Where Mike's F-bombs come out.
Oh man, like don't catch me in Indiana bar, man. You'll be like, that guy has a bad mouth. They'll think differently of me for sure.
Yes, and I agree, Mr. Butler, that they should change the quarantines. 14 days is a long time to be out, and yeah, so I don't know. That's the CDC's. That's way out of my pay grade. I'm not in the CDC. I haven't studied this stuff. I read the internet. I read Facebook. I get all my information from Facebook. So,
yeah. Well, I get it from the guy that dropped out of high school.
Yes,
in the 10th grade, that sends me like all the news articles.
Yes, and he knows everything about science.
Yeah, he should be right. I mean, I had science with that guy, and he had an F. But I agree.
Yes, and he shared a meme with a pretty cool picture.
We're in the region, so we get both articles.
Yes. Nice. Yeah, I think I saw something where the CDC was recommending, or at least they were thinking about recommending shorter quarantine times, which would be awesome for everybody. Everybody, parents, kids. I know somebody. Oh, one of my coworkers had the kid that got quarantined, and he. Oh man. I know he had to go pick his kid up, and now he's quarantined for 2 weeks. And hopefully they change that. So,
dude, I think that's the dumbest thing, man. I have to leave work all the time to go pick my kid up. His kid works in the city.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm like, they're like, yep, you gotta come get her. I'm like, is she sick?
Yeah, no, your kids got a couple quarantines, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
One. But it's like, I don't know. You're going to get me all fired up, dude. We're trying to wrap this down.
Yes.
It's like the dumbest thing, man. Like, I was like, so my younger daughter also goes to the school. They're like, nah, she's fine. So what if my older daughter has COVID, we're bringing it right back, and everyone's going to be around her?
Yeah.
Like we live in the same house.
Yes. Well, if she gets it, then your house gets quarantined. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I know it's a lot of fun.
Dude, I've had to take this test a couple times. The last person that did it, I think, dude, this thing went so far up my nose, I thought it was going to give me a bloody nose. So they're taking a blood sample from my brain.
They're trying
not gentle with it.
Are you sure they weren't from a competitor trying to get all your information?
Maybe. It hurts so bad. Dude, I'm not usually a baby about stuff like that. I was like pushing away, stop.
Yeah.
But I was negative, so.
That's good.
Win.
That is good. So I think we're going to wrap it up tonight, and then we'll probably be back Sunday, have some new rankings soon, and we will see everyone Sunday night on our regular normal time.
Enjoy.
Yes.